focusing on your breath. Deep breath in. Slow exhale. This is the meditation to activate the light blue ray of discernment, the gatherers who know how to evaluate. They are the ones who range near and far to find those who may be lost, or those who make the choice between who stays and who goes, who's taken. They have that ability to make a choice, which is certainly indicative of the throat chakra. So our gatherers have 4 main messages that they bring to us. The first one, of course, be discerning. That they invite us to be aware of what it feels like to have a discerning eye, to know what it is to look for, what works, what doesn't, what is ours, what is not, what is truth, what is not for us. Before we are able to make a choice, we need to know what it is that's informing the choice that we are making. Knowing how to apply the best wisdom, the wisdom that informs the discernment to make that choice. So the gatherers know how to do this. Their other message is to assess others' viewpoints. When we are clear on what resides in the truth of our own hearts, it will be easier to hear what others have to say. We're not afraid of being swayed into something that is not in alignment with us. But we're also able to hear agenda when agenda shows up. So the clearer that we are in our own truth, the more we will know when truth shows up to meet us and when it doesn't. So we may not always be able to get away from other people's opinions, and that's fine. I mean, that's what dialogue is all about. But we need to know how not to be swayed by somebody else's agenda, one that is not in alignment with our truth. Another message from the gatherers is to explore hidden corners. On the journey from dark to light, or light to dark, whatever the journey is, just make sure that no stone is left unturned. You know, there may be hidden gems tucked into the corners that were previously overlooked. And I would say for sure, if there's a little niggle like, that feels a little bit uncomfortable, then that is definitely a stone to look over, to overturn. It is something that in truth is at the heart of the Soul Alchemist Journal. It's the same, or the Great Work, the book, the same questions year after year. And we may think, oh, I've already been here, I've already explored that, I've already answered this question. But when we come to it again, we may find that there's, just a little deeper reflection that we couldn't have seen before. And the last message from the gatherers is to activate energy. This is particularly true of Freya, the Valkyrie. There can be many aspects of dealing with the dark, of shadow and shame, that feels like it drops us down or pins us down. But some of these psychopomps, they have such a force and energy to them. And they remind us that there is power that can be unleashed in facing the dark. Like some of the images that we've seen, you crack open what is constricting and that light shines through. And that power, once released, can bring enormous change into our lives. So the gatherers, one way of looking at them anyways, is to align them with the alchemical stage of fermentation. And I see fermentation as being aligned with judgment. It's taking us to this other level. It's another death. It's a decay, which is not about calcination is the destruction of the established norms, but that's not what fermentation is about. It's about taking something that has been broken down because it needed to be broken down, and finding this transmutation aspect to it. So there's an aspect of certainly judgment, which is about a calling. Not a calling like the harbingers, but it's inviting us to seek that higher level. So the gatherers are about, the seeking, the attuning, and the engaging. There is energy and movement to this. Same as movement in fermentation, from that which is decaying to that which is actually coming back to life. And so, from a chakra perspective, this is the throat chakra. And again, not like the harbingers, not the call like the harbingers. But it is this element of choice, voice and choice. That what stays, what goes, what path taken, what path not. A refinement in the expression of self, in the movement out in the world. And that brings us to, have to change that, it's cycle 5, soul alchemy. And it doesn't have to be that the expression is shouted, right? There is the energy of the wild hunt. There's a force to that. But it can be just this tiny little points right in the throat chakra. And that it is the energy of our being itself which amplifies it out into the world. I just need to know my truth, and I just need to let that be the thing that directs my steps, and the amplification will take care of itself. breathe in the color light blue. Allow for the activation of this gatherer ray of discernment. Dawn yourself in the ray of the gatherers. Gwyneth Nice, Santa Muerte, the Anku, the Grim Reaper, Freya, the Valkyrie, Yama, Jesus. Know that you have the clarity of truth, the truth of your experience, the truth of your sought after wisdom. You have this clarity of truth that can be the net that is cast to the world. What you put forth in your expression can emanate out. It itself can be a gatherer. So allow your truth to be shared with thoughtfulness and compassion. And always, always have as the question that guides you in gatherer energy, what is it that informs my choices? And what is it that is expressed that reflects the integrity of my choices? So, take 3 deep centering breaths. And slowly bring yourself back to the here and now. The place where you are, the place where you sit. And when you're ready, you can open up your eyes.